Types of chemical equilibrium. We know that whenever in any reaction or in any process, the chemical composition of the substances gets changed, the equilibrium involved is called chemical equilibrium. Now this chemical equilibrium can be of two types. The first is called homogeneous equilibrium. Now it is the equilibrium in which all the reactants and the products involved exists in the same state. This is most important. They all exist in the same state, and then the equilibrium involved is called homogeneous equilibrium. Like let us take an example of the reaction of a hydrogen gas with iodine gas resulting in the formation of hydrogen iodide. All these substances involved like hydrogen, iodine and HI are, since gaseous in nature, it's called homogeneous equilibrium. Whereas on the other side, like we can take more examples, like let's take an example of the reaction of nitrogen reacting with hydrogen to form ammonia. Again, nitrogen, hydrogen and ammonia all are existing in the gaseous phase, so it's an example of homogeneous equilibrium. I can give you one more example, like esterification, in which this your ethanoic acid or acetic acid, when reacted with methanol in the presence of sulfuric acid, results in the formation of methyl ethanoate or acetate, which is again is a liquid, and water. Since all the reactants and the products involved are existing in the liquid state, it's again is an example of homogeneous equilibrium. Homogeneous itself means the same state. All the reactants, products involved are in the same state, as it has been seen in the following examples. The second type of chemical equilibrium is heterogeneous equilibrium. It's the equilibrium in which the substances involved will be existing in a different state. So the equilibrium in which the reactants and the products involved are existing in different states are called heterogeneous equilibrium. Different state. They all will not be in the same state. Example, thermal decomposition of solid calcium carbonate to give solid calcium oxide and CO2 gas. Now in this calcium carbonate and calcium oxide are in the solid state, whereas the CO2 involved is in the liquid, in the gaseous state. So since the substances are in the different state, it's an example of heterogeneous equilibrium. Always remember, these type of equilibriums are the examples or the types of chemical equilibrium, because in physical equilibrium always the state gets changed. Another example is like this, which is an example of physical equilibrium, the melting of ice. Like this one, here you can see this, the ice in the form of a solid changing into the water liquid. Now this is an example of a physical equilibrium. There is no change in the chemical composition, but since the equilibrium involved is involving the substances which are existing in the different states, this equilibrium is called heterogeneous equilibrium. So always remember, all physical equilibriums are the examples of heterogeneous equilibrium.